And good afternoon. Welcome to the clubhouse here at Charlie Brown Memorial Field as the Valley City Royals getting ready to head to Castleton here on Thursday for the State Class A American Legion Baseball Tournament. And we're going to be talking with some of the members of the Royals, coaching staff, and players. And I want to kick things off with the old man on the team, Will Schwer, back for his super senior year. And I guess Will getting a chance again to go back to state. You guys went there last year, and went in kind of through the back door with the state qualifying win, but this year winning as the West Region. Just your thoughts of getting a chance to go back to state again this year.
It feels good going back to state, knowing at the start of the year this was our goal. Now we're here and always have to execute and to finish our goal.
And for you to get a chance to come back again, how gratifying is that to get to play another year for the Royals and get a chance to go to state?
It's fun to come back and play. Playing baseball is always fun, and coming back to a team that likes to play baseball, it's been fun.
And, your role is kind of all over. You played second, you pitched, you DH'd. Do you have a specific spot you like? Or you like that DH role?
Yeah, DH is fun when it's hot. But when it's not going to be as hot this weekend. Playing in the field's fun, but all around it's just fun.
Castleton now this weekend is or on Thursday. You know everything a lot about the Haymakers. You used to play in the East Region, so what do you expect here coming up this week?
Expect they're gonna have good pitching, and they can kind of hit the ball too. But we got to execute our pitches and be ready to hit, and then we should be good.
When you execute the pitch, throwing strikes is key. I mean, that's always a big thing. You hear coaches harp on it too, throwing strikes. But how about the defense? Do you feel your defense, this team, is a solid defensive unit?
Yeah, we felt pretty solid all year. Had a little hiccup in the region tournament, but we getting things back together, and we should be good. What's
Will Schwer's goal to get here these next few days? What do you want to accomplish after when you get started this week?
A couple base hits.
You want for a couple of base hits for Will Schwer. How about as a unit? What do you hope this team can accomplish this weekend?
State title.
A state title, and come home with that banner.
Yep.
All right. Well, Will, I appreciate it. Congratulations on a great season, and we will see you in Castleton here this week.
Yep.
That is Will Schwer, one of the super seniors. And next up, we're going to be joined by Trevor Fetch, who is going to be coming in and talking with us. And we're just going to roll right through this in this special state tournament preview edition of Royals baseball here on the VCBA streaming channel. And now talking with Trevor Fetch. And one thought I had with you, Trevor, during the high school season, you hit leadoff. And he had Corbin bat number 2, and Corbin's going to get this question, so he's going to listen really close. You like the way it worked out this summer, where the roles were a little bit more reversed?
Yeah, most of my life I've hit leadoff and Corbin behind me, but switching that, I kind of like having someone go ahead of me, and you get to see more pitches and get more of your timing. And Corbin's usually on base, so then usually hitting with someone on makes you see the ball a little better and think more too.
And then you got someone like a Jack Samuelson that's hitting behind you. You're going to probably see a lot better pitching too.
Yeah, they don't want me to get on base because they know that Jack can score me from any spot when I'm on.
Now with the you two as a chance to going back to state this year as this top seed out of the West, just how that feels for you to get this team to go back to state one more time.
Yeah, it feels great. This group of guys is mostly the same group we went to State Babe Ruth with, so we are good at playing together as a team, and we know we can win against anyone.
Was that a goal beginning of the season to get to this spot?
For sure.
Is there another goal past that?
Yeah, we're going to try and win state.
How about Trevor Fetch? What does Trevor Fetch want to accomplish here this weekend?
Do what I can to help my team succeed, get on base as many times as I can.
Middle infielder, second, short, do you prefer one or the other?
Nope. I like both of them pretty much the same.
And wherever they need you, you're gonna play. That's kind of the mantra of this team. Wherever you need me, we'll play. Castleton, they pitch well. I mean, our 2 games with them earlier this year, a couple of low-scoring games. What do you expect from the Haymakers here on Thursday?
I mean, it seems like our whole life we've had big games against them, so it's going to be a good game. But hopefully, we come out on top like we have the last couple of years.
Kind of a rivalry too, as far as the Legion is concerned. There's kindred too, but it seems like Castleton and Valley City have that little rivalry going.
Yeah, maybe a little rivalry, but hopefully we can stay on top of that.
Now, with you defensively, you're pitching, you're throwing strikes. Is that a key for you guys behind those pitchers, for those guys to be getting ahead in the count and throwing those strikes?
I mean, yeah, the less guys you walk, the easier it is for us to play defense behind them, and that's usually where our cleaner games come, is when our pitchers are throwing strikes.
I don't like putting the cart before the horse. Coaches hate it when I ask players this, but What would it be? What would it mean for you as a senior to get a state championship this year with this team?
I mean, that would mean everything. Obviously, it's what you work for your entire life, but we're just going one game at a time here.
So Castleton's first. We'll worry about Friday on Friday.
For sure.
All right, Trevor, thanks for joining us. Trevor Fetch, middle infielder, number 2 hitter for the Royals. Again, you're joining us for a special edition of Royals baseball here on the Valley City Baseball Association streaming page. These gentlemen got to get ready for practice coming up here in just a few minutes, and we do appreciate them joining us here before they head out onto the field. Now, Jack Samuelson joining us, number 3 guy in the order, and Jack. A question I'm going to ask you, and another one that Corbin's going to get similar, so you can listen to this. Playing with Pine Tar Academy and getting playing a lot of ball. How has playing that travel ball with them helped you bring your game here to Valley City?
I think it's helped a lot. I mean, I'm playing lots of kids from all over the country. I'm playing kids from like Chicago, and they throw hard, so it's pretty easy to see 90 miles an hour and then come back and see 75. So it's just helped a lot getting my timing down and just seeing better pitchers. And
probably a whole different level of attitude, too, with these guys that probably helped your game, too, as far as confidence and just bringing a different mentality to the game.
Yeah, definitely.
And now back here again you'll be a senior next year, so you got a couple of years, hopefully, but we'll worry about that in a couple of years. But you, too, were on that Babe Ruth team that went to the state in 2023 and went to state last year. What's it mean for you to get another chance at a state tournament?
I think it's great. We have a lot of the same guys and some older guys, so we have pretty strong pitching. So if we can just get after it and throw clean games, and I think we have a good shot at winning the championship.
You've had a good year, statistically speaking. What do you think has been the biggest reason why you've done so well at the plate this year?
I think just seeing better pitching with Pine Tar has helped a lot, and I'm also getting more reps. So it's just easier for me to be confident when I step in the box because I'm getting all those extra reps, and I always know that I'm going to have another opportunity later.
And you look at your lineup, too, your top 4 now with Parker Rolsma, the way he has hit the ball here in the latter part of the season. Is that to help you, too, knowing you got they're worried there's a guy in the on-deck circle that can hurt him, too?
Yeah, definitely. It takes a lot of the pressure off.
And you've been in 3 times. I think they've intentionally walked you to get to him, and I think he's made him pay at least 2, if not all 3 times. So that's got to be a good feeling, too, for you and as a team, that up and down the lineup 1 through 9, someone is going to hurt you in this lineup. Does that make it more fun to get out there and this is a very balanced offensive team?
I think it's great because every time we step on the field, we know that we have a chance, and we're just going to give it everything we have, and we're going to go try to win a ball game.
Shortstop, third base. Preference on which one?
I don't really have a preference. I like playing wherever in the infield, and I can also play in the outfield as well, so I just like being in the field.
And it looks like that arm strength is really is good because I know possibly had some arm issues, but it looks like your arm strength is really good, and you feel confident with your throws from anywhere on the field, on the infield.
Yeah, I hurt a little bit during the spring season, and then I did my rehab, and I just kept doing my rehab, and I'd pretty much say that I'm back to normal, other than getting off the mound. But
what does Jack Samuelson want to accomplish over these next few days?
I want to win a state championship. I think we have the guys that want to do it, so we can just all step together and go win a championship.
And bring that back, bring another state title here to Valley City. It's 9 years since Allegiance State Championships. You guys are just about yay high the last time. Well, not you. You're still probably up here the last time. But, again, as a team, what would it mean to get that state championship for you?
It would mean everything. That's what we've worked for all season. We knew that with being in the West region that we would have a chance at winning it. So we've had that mentality the entire year that we want to get to the state tournament, and then we want to go far into this tournament and win it.
All right. Well, Jack, appreciate you stopping by. Good luck to you here on Thursday, and we'll worry about Thursday, and we'll see what happens on Friday.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Jack Samuelson joining us from the Royals. And, again, you are watching a special edition of Royals Baseball, a state tournament preview edition of Royals Baseball here on the Valley City Baseball Association streaming page here on YouTube. And next up, Corbin Powell, catcher and pitcher, here and hitting in that number 1 spot. And I'll ask you the question that I asked Trevor. Roles were reversed during the high school season, so now you've hit at the top. Do you like the way things have worked out this year with you hitting that leadoff spot and Trevor at number 2?
Yeah, I kind of like how it sets things up because I feel like I can get on. I feel confident enough to get on just about every time. And with Trevor behind me, not much of a power hitter, but he'll put the ball in play just about every at bat. And with my speed, I feel like I can give our team the best chance. So.
And would you say if you get on, it's going to be a double? Even if it's a single or a walk, you're going to find yourself at second base. That kind of your mentality?
Yeah, just about every time Carp's giving me the green light to take second. So.
And how about as far as just what we talked about with Jack, with Pine Tar and playing the travel ball that you have this summer, and how have you felt that has helped your game here with the Royals?
I feel like just seeing more pitching. I probably had 20 extra games than the rest of this team, so that just helped. Extra reps, especially in-game reps, are very important, and it's like that's just helping a lot more. And then I've seen a little bit better competition, and then just different situations. I feel like it's not quite the same like in-game feeling because it's like not your team, and it's not like you're not really playing for much, and it's more just like bettering yourself and trying to develop.
Yeah. You're not. It's not it's like almost like an all-star game type of situation. You want to make yourself better. You're worrying about your at bats and what you're doing. Yeah, you want to win the games too, but it's more about improving your game and getting better. Jack kind of hit on a little bit when we moved out to the West this year. And you guys knew, okay, it might be nothing's easy, never everything easy. But did you feel beginning of the year moving out west, you'd have a really good shot at getting to this place, being a top seed and going into the state tournament?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really pay too much attention to like players and like of other teams, so I wasn't even really sure like how other teams would stack up against us or whatever. So I went into it same as I have every other year.
Castleton, a team you've seen a lot, 2 games this year, and of course we used to play against them in the East region. What do you expect out of the Haymakers here on Thursday?
I expect a tough game, but obviously we're going to come out on top like we always do. So,
I like that confidence. That's that. And what is it going to take? What's going to be a key for you guys to get that win on Thursday and move on to the next round?
Our pitchers just got to throw strikes, and then everyone's got to put team at bats together, and that'll get us the win, I think.
Do you pride yourself with being behind the plate as far as throwing guys out and throwing behind runners? Is that something you really work on and take pride in?
Yeah, I believe being a catcher, my defensive work is one of my strongest skills, and a lot of teams aren't even running on me anymore, so that proves I'm doing a good job.
They know, don't run on number 13. You're probably not going to get very far. Corbin, again, good luck here on Thursday. Appreciate you stopping by, and we'll see you in Castleton.
Thank you.
You bet. That is Corbin Powell, and catcher, leadoff batter for the Royals. Again, you're watching a special edition of Valley City Royals baseball here on the VCBA streaming page. State Tournament edition. The Royals will be opening up the state tournament. They're the last game on Thursday, and approximately 7:45 start time against the Castleton Haymakers. Now we're joined by Bryson Hec from the Royals center fielder and pitcher. And Bryson, with you coming in in the batting order at that number 9 spot, do you feel you're that second leadoff guy? Is that something you've been told by coaches that, hey, we want you to get us to the top?
Yeah, Chase has told me that a few times, and when I get on, I know Corbin can advance me, or I could take a base if I need to as well. So,
how you felt your hitting has been this year? I mean, did you feel it's where it could be, or is it something that you want to work on here a little bit in this week?
You know, I think my 14-year Babe Ruth season, I hit about .67. So I'm not 100% pleased with it. I think I want to get up to 300, but not too mad about it.
260 is pretty good. That's still not bad at all. But now, as far as what Bryson Hec wants to do, what is something that you really want to accomplish and get taken care of this weekend?
Well, we want to win state, but also as a pitcher, I just want to throw strikes early in the count and not have to work back from down 3-0, 3-1. Just want to get out ahead right away. And
that's going to help your defense if you get ahead in the count. And, of course, you came out this summer, didn't play spring ball, but you came out this summer and you feel it was really you were happy you did this because it's obviously you've been a big part of the reason why this team is where they're at. Is that something too you take a little pride in and say, I'm glad I did this with my senior year, playing with these guys one more time?
Yeah, I'm glad I came out. I was struggling with arm injuries before, but this year I haven't had any problems with my arm. And
knock on wood.
Yeah. I also didn't know how far behind I would be skipping a year, but I don't think I was too terribly far behind catching
not too bad. Not too bad. What do you want to accomplish this weekend? You talk about that state championship. What would that mean for you and for this team to come away with a state title this weekend?
Well, I think it would be great to win state, being that next year we only lose Will for this next season. So to do it with Will would be pretty cool as well, and then that would give us confidence going into next year as well.
Well, appreciate it, Bryson. Now, let's talk with you as a pitcher. I didn't even think of this until just now. Facing the Castleton hitters, what do you expect? Maybe the top part of their lineup has got some up there, but what do you think as far as facing them as a pitcher and facing this lineup?
Well, they're not going to give up on any at-bat, so you kind of just got to throw what you can do to throw strikes and get ahead of them and then make them work for it, and hopefully they can put a lazy ground ball in play for an easy out.
And try to let them get themselves out. Mm-hmm. And, of course, pitch count is kind of big. If, you're kind of a strikeout pitcher, those pitch counts could get up there. So maybe making them get themselves out might be a big key as well.
Yeah, not using too many pitches right away in the game would be pretty nice and be able to go a complete game.
All right. Well, Bryson, I appreciate you stopping by. Good luck here on Thursday, and we'll see you in Castleton.
Thank you.
You bet. That is Bryson Hec from the Royals, a center fielder and a pitcher. And that is the players that we're talking to. They're going to get out and get ready for practice. And now we're going to have a chance to talk with the coaching staff here for Valley City Royals. And who's going to go first? Miss Coach Fetch is going to join us here first, assistant coach for the Royals. And Matt, this is something that you bring a unique part with this team, as you've been with these guys since they're like 10 years old, probably, if not before that. How have you seen this group improve as baseball players over the last 7-8 years?
Well, it's been pretty incredible to watch, in all honesty. And you're right, yeah, they were pretty little when we got going. I'm always hopeful that we have enough coaches and kind of can sit back and be dad. And on years where we need some help, I've been willing to help out. So it's kind of been on again, off again. But in all honesty, I think I went back about 26 years I've been coaching, and it's without a doubt probably as much fun as I've had just collectively with a group where you talk about all the time they put in outside of practice, which is half the battle in a sport like baseball. And really, Coach Carpenter will probably talk about it as well. Most of what we talk about has very little to do with anything physical. It's a lot of mental type things and more mindfulness practice than actually physical practice, just knowing they're going to take the time to get better on their own outside of practice. So, overall it's been a joy to watch, and just knowing that, like Bryson said, fortunate to have Will back this year, but a big core of this group will be back next year. So it's something to hopefully have a pretty memorable weekend and something they can build on next spring and summer.
With this, what did you see the biggest how they've improved just since you guys got together, in the early May, and how they've improved just this summer? What have they improved on it the most? Yeah,
it's a good question. I think obviously just looking at the scores, defensively and pitching, it's been a kind of a whole different year than the spring. And we talked about that day one that, when we're in practice, we're going to spend almost all our time on defense and pitching, and you're going to have to find time to get better offensively. And I think a big part of that is, if you don't hit the ball, you're not going to beat anyone anyway, but we got to figure out a way to cut down. You talk about number of pitches, but just number of outs, number of bases, and just save wherever we can. And they've been done a very good job of that throughout the year and just getting a little better. And then I think the biggest piece on the mental side is, something goes wrong, and first inning of the region tournament against Williston, it doesn't go much more wrong than being we're 7 batters in and we're down 4-0, base loaded, no one out. And just the resiliency to, next pitch mentality has been something you just typically don't see in kids this age, and I think that's been their biggest strength this summer.
Castleton, a team you guys know well. You saw them twice this year, 2 low-scoring games there in Castleton. What do the Haymakers bring to the table that you have seen and what you know about them?
Yeah, I think kind of almost like a mirror image of this group. They're going to be fundamentally sound. They'll throw strikes, and they're probably not a team that goes in thinking they're going to outslug teams and have a slugfest. They want to, manufacture runs type things. The doubleheader, I would assume earlier this year, 3-2 and 4-2 games will be probably very similar to what you'll see, not only in that game, but throughout the whole weekend. And it's just going to come down to execution offensively and defensively here for whatever team's on top at the end.
What's the confidence level of this group? Not overconfident, but they know if they do what they're supposed to do and can do, it's going to be a very fun weekend.
Yeah, I think so. I think they're, even since they were younger, they'll buy into a role kind of thing where their job isn't necessarily to get up there and hit doubles and triples. It may just be to get on base or to, come in, throw strikes. You have a batting average of 100, but you have a role defensively that we can't replace. And for kids, again, to buy into that and parents to buy into that ultimately is what leads to success at the end of the year. And we've been fortunate to see a lot of it this summer.
This team doesn't run a lot, but when they do, they're very good first to third. Is that something, too, as a first base coach you've seen? They're very good going from first to third on hits or whatever?
Absolutely. That's something you can ask any of them pretty much any time they get there and they're on first. We just have a lot of guys that are particularly right-handed hitters that are willing to go the other way and hit the ball to right field. And you have those guys coming up. They'll hear me say, inning to right, pick up Coach Carpenter coming around second. Mm-hmm. And just like we like to save those bases defensively, we like to put the pressure on offensively and force the defense into making plays. And it all adds up over the year. We have it all charted, and it's been probably the number one factor, just as simple as something like base by base.
What is it going to take for this team to have a successful weekend? What's going to be the biggest key?
I think all of it rolled together, but like anyone, it's coming down to playing your best 5-6 games of the year at the right time. I think they would tell you they probably haven't peaked at this point. I mean, like I said, a lot of things went wrong last weekend, but again, that mental toughness to overcome them and makes the next play. I don't know how many times you see just last weekend, bases loaded, no one out, and you get out of an inning with no runs or one run, and it feels like a win. I think the perfect example, I think we were in Dickinson earlier this year, and if I remember right, we're down 3-1 in the fifth inning, and probably the worst 4 innings we played collectively all year, offensively and defensively. And I heard one of the kids in the dugout say, we should be down at least 6-0, guys. It's only 3-1. Let's go. And boom, boom, boom. They score every inning and continue on in game 2 and a rare 10-run win in game 2. So just, I think, going to come down to that and just, like I said, do your job, do what you're supposed to, and hopefully the baseball gods are on your side too.
And Mother Nature.
Yeah, that's right.
All right. Well, Matt, appreciate you joining us, and good luck here this weekend, and we will see you in Castleton.
Yep, appreciate everything, Paul.
You bet. That is Coach Matt Fetch from the Valley City Royals. Again, watching this special edition of Royals baseball here on the VCBA streaming page, a special state tournament edition as the Royals are getting ready to head to the Class A tournament here on Thursday. They will take on the Castleton Haymakers in round 1. Now the head guy, the one that stands at the third base and yells out the numbers and has a little card in his hand, Chase Carpenter joining us. And we've talked about this. I don't think I've asked you this question yet, but we've talked about the number of state tournaments that you've coached in with this group here over the last 4 of them now as head coach. What makes this team so special? What makes this team at 21-3? Why is this team as good as they are?
I think Coach Fetch kind of talked about it a little bit. It's the maturity of the kids and the older kids, and then understanding the younger kids are learning off of them. So it doesn't matter what situation we're in. Every single time it's the same energy, it's the same attitude. We're down 3, down 4, up 5, whatever it may be. It's still the same way throughout. They never get too high, never get too low. So the maturity and understanding, a lot of those older guys, even if they're still 17, have been there since 15 years old. So they understand what the expectations of the coaching staff is, and it doesn't matter every single day. They come in and work, and then obviously doing our best to make practice tough, and then obviously games for the most part. They don't have to do much thinking. We try and take the thinking off of them for the most part with some of that stuff and just let them go play.
Seems like this group too. There's a lot of guys on this team that have high baseball IQs. That their mind's always thinking to that next pitch and what needs to happen when that ball's put in play and hit at them or whatever the case may be. They're very smart baseball players.
Oh yeah, well this is probably the group in general that have any time outside of baseball, they're still talking about baseball. You probably won't catch a beat without them talking about baseball, what's going on in MLB or college or whatever it may be. I mean, obviously still at the West Region tournament, they're still talking about outside stuff as far as different tournaments and all that. I mean, they're involved with baseball a lot, and that's kind of what we struggled with the last so many years is just kind of baseball IQ. When you play in state tournament, small plays come down to the end, and that's kind of what calls ball games. I mean, you saw it in the West Region Championship. Came down to a couple bunts and the small things that we talk about a lot in practice. It came down to that, and that's stuff that they hone in on and understand from watching, that they understand what's obviously expected out of us as well. So baseball IQ obviously helps us out in these situations.
And see, with this team too, I think a lot of teams have been gunning for them and looking and watching. We got to get Valley City. Obviously the reps the last 3-4 games of the season because they were trying to get to that top seed. Castleton obviously is honing in again, and I'm sure Mitch is just tickled pink that he's going to get to see Valley City in the other dugout again. But that mentality, they're like, is this team like, oh, bring it on, you guys should go ahead, you want your gun for us, and let's do it.
Yeah, and I talked to Mitch obviously when we won it and found out he was 4th seed, and I said, we'll see you again, buddy.
And that's Mitch Shear from the Castleton baseball team.
Yeah, Castleton's head coach over there. So no, we laughed all week and talked all week about certain things, but yeah, I mean, it's been a different year, obviously, being kind of the head in the West Region, having every single team obviously want us and want to knock us off. And I told them a couple of days ago, it's going to be the same thing. You're the number 1 seed out West. Every East team's going to look at you that way now, too. So you got that target on your back. And everything at the start of a baseball game is going to be huge for us. If they can get the momentum right away, especially in a state tournament with probably more fans, and get them on our side right away, it's going to be big because it's the same thing. There's going to be other teams against you. There's going to be other fans against you. So understanding that it's us 15 plus our coaching staff, against everybody, have all of each other's back in the dugout and take care of business.
And being only 35, 36 miles away, you talked about the fan base. We've had a good fan base to begin with. You said you've heard from guys that didn't go to Bismarck, but they're going to come to Castleton. How key is that, too, for the guys to come out of a dugout and see a lot of Royal Blue and Columbia Blue shirts in the stands?
Yeah, it's massive. I mean, even the little things that we do before, as far as the state send-off and certain things like that, just showing the simple support that we enjoy, obviously, watching them play and obviously us coaching. But I think they know, and we talked about it too, that the crowd is going to be big over there. So I think when 2020 happened and we played our senior Babe Ruth tournament here and played Jamestown, I picture it going to be around the same exact thing, to where maybe at the start of the game it's not as much, and then throughout it all of a sudden you see that there's a massive crowd, and it takes one time for you to look into the crowd and realize, oh crap,
oh
there's
boy,
a lot of people here. Yeah, so I mean, but that's stuff we'll talk about each inning too, and just making sure that they stay focused at the task at hand, and understanding that obviously simple plays, it could take 1 inning, and that could be the ball game in these type of situations where it's they have great pitching, we have great pitching, so it could be a 1-run ball game, and 1 inning could take the cake.
Speaking of pitching, without tipping your hand, is it different now with the pitch count as to oppose maybe a kid can't throw 12 innings over 3 days? It was more of an innings thing. Is it different now lining up a staff for a 5-6 game tournament with a pitch count?
Oh yeah, no, I find it fun, obviously, going through and finding certain scenarios for different people, and I think that's kind of where we have an advantage in some of these situations. I think some of these coaches kind of overthink it and overcoach it, and next thing you know, you're biting yourself in the butt at the end of it. Yeah. And but yeah, I think having between pitch counts and appearances, it makes it definitely interesting. You got to make sure you're paying attention, and it's every single day, it's every single inning that you're seeing what's the score, who's next. I mean, every single score, every single inning is going to be a different person. So it's going to be all charted out so that we understand where we're going to be. So that's easier when obviously pressure's on. Brain might not be thinking the way it should, but I got it charted right here to where, all right, here we go. That's where we're going to. So it makes it, like I said, it's fun game planning, but those are the situations that we got to think of. Other than when we won in 2016, there wasn't any pitch counts. I think there might have been appearances, but after that, you can throw whatever the heck you want. I think Jesse Johnson in the state championship probably threw 150, 160. So, and he was still feeling fantastic. Probably not the next day, but still feeling great at probably 7th, 8th inning. So, but yeah, no, it's different. But obviously, coaching staffs really come into play when there's those limits like that.
Up and down the lineup too on the offensive side, it seems like you can count on somebody different doing something every single night. Somebody else comes up with the big hit or a big walk or a good at bat. Is that too fun as a coaching staff to see that 1 through 9 you got a good lineup that you're going to scribble in every night?
Yeah, it's even when Will came back from kind of his lineman training there and started entering him into the lineup, go down, like you said, there's not – usually you kind of have that weak link that you're like, all right, at times you can probably go 1 for 4 or hopefully get on base with a walk or a bunt or something like that. But, I mean, all 9 can do something pretty special, and that's start an inning, get a bunt down. I mean, a lot of those guys are versatile that way. And obviously our top of the order is massive, but obviously without the bottom of the order producing like they have, obviously the top of the order's numbers aren't going to be fantastic. So, and Bryson talked about it, and we've talked about it all year. Some of those 8-9 hitters are a little bit more key for us than normally would be. A little bit more analytical with some of that stuff, understanding that if they get on, you got big dudes coming on. When we talk about our pitching staff, that's what we talk about as well. So, obviously doing our best to keep that bottom off the bases so that top comes up, they're just cleared and they can relax and understand that it's a good hitter, but there's nothing on, I can just kind of throw to him. So
what is going to be a big key for this group here this weekend to make it a fun weekend and a successful one?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be hopefully a long tournament, but I've already kind of said it quite a bit, it's the simple plays that we worked on probably every single year, and we're going to go out here and work on a couple other things too, but it's the bunt calls. It's our first and thirds that we've worked on. It's certain situations, bunting, getting bunts down, stealing, understanding what I expect out of a different type of steal that we're going to do. I mean, all those situations are massive. And, like, when you have great pitching probably every single game until you might get to the end, I mean, it's going to be low-scoring ball games. So those little situations are going to be massive. Obviously, we got to take care of what we can as far as throwing strikes, errors, all that little stuff. As long as we take care of that, I think we'll be in every single game. Now it's just a matter of fact, like I said, executing either offensively or defensively 1 inning to be able to secure that win. So,
has this been a fun group to coach?
Oh yeah, obviously winning is fun in general. So I can't complain too much. And there really honestly has been a lot of stuff that you have to. I mean, there's, like I said, a lot of our older guys, they've been through this before. They've matured to where they understand what the expectations are. So, I mean, it's honestly just those younger guys, which obviously these 17, 18-year-olds have been through it. It's a little bit tougher on them and understanding that we're detail-oriented with everything that we do and that there is expectation here that you just can't show up to the ballpark and all of a sudden find your way into the lineup. I know we got 11 guys, but we've had a couple guys throughout the year, and they've understood, obviously, throughout the year. And they'll continue to grow throughout the years of, they're only 15 for the most part. So, but I mean, that's kind of the biggest thing is those guys understanding basically our expectations throughout the year, those older guys, and leading. A lot of times you have some decent ball players, but they aren't the best leaders. And so they don't exactly portray what we expect as a coaching staff. But as they're doing right now, they're out there without us, and they're controlling practice, and that's something that I'm not too worried about sitting here right now. I understand that we got things taken care of out there. They know what to expect. So that's kind of the biggest key out of this whole group.
And what they're doing for some of these younger players that are sitting in here watching this interview, these guys and role models for them. They were in the dugout with them during the West region. Just what they mean to these guys and what they're showing them how it's done and what we need to do to get to this level.
Yeah, and like I said, I mean, the same thing with the 15-year-olds we do have. It's understanding what the expectations are, and they honestly have a big role in this state tournament. I mean, we're probably going to see Brody's going to run quite a bit for us. Some of those other guys might be running too in the certain situations. I trust them a little bit more at times than some of our guys. But, I mean, it's just sometimes even if James out there and he's working his butt off pitching, I'd rather get him a rest, and I trust some of these guys to run, and especially since we don't have a bench, they add to that. And biggest thing that we talked about too, I mean, Bismarck reps, certain when we start the game without energy, I mean, they should be bringing that energy from the bench, which should, ignite us a little bit more. And I mean, I know some of the older guys probably won't listen to them. That's certain things, but and they'll get a talking to if that ever happens. But they even bring stuff to us this year. So I think that they're smart baseball players. So it's good to see that right now and understanding what we got coming back next year, and then adding them is going to be pretty cool.
Well, Castleton tomorrow. It all gets started tomorrow night in front of what's going to be a great crowd. Opening ceremony started around 7, I think. Something around that time, and then we were supposed to go about 7:45, 8 o'clock. Just final thought on heading into the state and playing as well as you are right now, and getting ready for that first game with the Haymakers here on Thursday.
Yeah, so it's going to be like a movie from 7 to 7:45. It sounds like as far as this opening ceremony goes. So, honestly, that's our first hurdle. We haven't obviously been in a situation where you somewhat get warm. You sit for probably an hour, if not more, and then finding a way to ignite that switch again, and then getting them warmed back up. And so that's our first hurdle. I mean, that's where we're going to start. Obviously, we're not too focused on getting to day 2, getting to day 3, where we're going to be at. We're just making sure that they are put in the best situation to obviously succeed every single inning, every single pitch, all that type of stuff. Obviously, Coach Fetch does a great job of getting them to where they need to be. As far as pitches goes, I call pitches. Everything, like I said before, it's some of those little things is going to come up big towards, and it's going to be curious on what it's going to be, whether I think when we faced the refs, we were on the right side of things as far as bunts go. And when we played them up at their place, first and thirds, we ran those perfectly, and they did not. So I think that's what it's going to come down to. I'm not too worried about, like I said, day 2, day 3, day 4. We worry about that when we get there. But as far as Castleton goes, I mean, our guys already talked about it. They know what they're about. And we talked about it all week. They're going to pitch. You talked about it too. They're going to have probably 3 pitchers. We don't know who we're going to see. But they're all going to be around the same. They're going to have decent velo with some good stuff. But we've got I think last time we played them, we probably played their ace. And I was looking back, watching video today, just as far as their hitters, and we had 14 left on base. Almost every single inning we were on base. And, I mean, which I think we're hitting a lot better with runners in scoring position towards the end of the year here. So hopefully that kind of takes care of itself. But we're going to hopefully be in a lot of those situations where we have people on. We just got to make sure that they're not thinking too much and trying to do too much, especially some of our big dudes being in a smaller ballpark. I don't need them going for home runs, and keep it simple, and that's when obviously you'll see that ball fly.
Just play Royals baseball and see what happens.
Absolutely, yeah, and then we'll move on, see where we're at.
We've been doing pretty well so far. So,
yeah.
All right, well, Chase, appreciate it. Congratulations on the great season. Look forward to Castleton here again. We won't give you a start time. 7:45-ish is the start time. And so that's what's coming up here tomorrow at Valley Process Technologies Field over in Castleton.
Yeah,
so,
and before you close it up,
yeah,
I know you talked last week that you only have one thing. So if things go wrong, you need to make sure come bearing gifts. So you need to switch to this one if things start to go haywire.
So I will switch to this. Yes,
yeah.
I didn't watch the other one all weekend, and look what happened. It worked.
Well,
so,
right. That's what I'm saying. Don't switch.
I'm not. I'll stay with that until things get haywire, and it's like, nope. Now we got to go to the big guns.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you very much, and I will wear that. Yeah. See, I wish it was an L, but oh well. That's another story. We'll worry about. We'll get rid of the X later on. Thank you very much, Coach, and good luck, and we'll see you in Castleton.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Paul.
You bet. That is Coach Chase Starkmutter, and that's going to wrap things up. It's a special edition of the Royals Baseball and the State Tournament edition. Again, the Royals will take on Castleton Thursday. 3 o'clock is the heading them out, leading them out, send-off. That's what I was looking for. Yep. And we're going to start here at Charlie Brown?
Yep, Charlie Brown. Then we'll go west up on 12th Ave, basically going down Central Avenue there, and then we'll head out east on Main there and basically hit highway from there. So basically the main route of Valley City.
Other direction we went last year.
Yeah, basically. We like to keep you on your toes.
Exactly. So map it out. But again, they'll start here at Charlie Brown tomorrow at 3 o'clock, and then heading to Castleton. Again, game time around 7:45 in Castleton. Thanks for joining us, and we will see you in Castleton for game one or day one of the state tournament. And again, this has been a special edition of Royals Baseball, the state tournament edition, on the VCBA streaming YouTube page.